What do you think we're talking to Benny Morris about tomorrow?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll find out when I get there. I don't know. I want to talk about, besides just like doing a bunch of fucking confirmation about the history. Like I want to ask about the difference between him as like a historian 25 years ago and him now, or just him as a Israeli citizen with political opinions versus him as a historian. I've got examples. I've got good examples, I think. Like the way that he talks about the first Intifada is like he's so admirable of all the actions of the people who were not just like the non-violent protests, but also like the stone throwing kids and the way that the violence was like directed and organized and like limited. Like
and it all started like without like a centralized direction as well, I believe.
The central, it was like the UNLU which came together and started like giving directions on like how to like basically like the reason that they used stones and not like fucking guns was because they were told to. Like they had stockpiled weapons, but they just chose not to use them. Like the stone thing was strategic. It was to make the IDF look really bad if they shot them. And the way that they would like clear out the villages of IDF soldiers and the different refugee camps so that they could establish their own kind of like parallel institutions and parallel government systems. So, yeah.
Well, as a layperson, I hope you're able to at least clear the air about was he laughing? No. I was gonna say like how people were saying.
Ask him that. Were you laughing at me or at Finkelstein?
Oh yeah.
Please
that's
do that.
Most important. That's gonna be a clip for Twitter too. Absolutely.
Just coming here to farm all your fucking
It's funny though. It's nice when somebody can link. That guy did it to me on Twitter. It's like actually, in case you knew this, Omer blah blah blah. I'm like, oh no, we asked him this question. You fucking retard, kill yourself.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Like I know it won't be as productive, but maybe not. Like maybe if Lonerbox, you do all those serious questions. And then if you do like the recap with Benny Morris on that conversation, I know as a fan, that's like the kind of content I would be like lapping up. Ask him about the whole Finkelstein and the neighbor situation, if he knows all that, or God. Is that like 90% plus real?
What?
The whole court.
I didn't even know. That's 100% real. Those 100%? Court docs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, the Finkelstein.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. I mean, they presented a bunch of exhibits and he didn't give anything, did he? Like,
Nope. Did you ever read any of those posts on my Twitter?
What?
The Finkelstein, like, posting the signs on his neighbor's door saying, like, no sleep for you tonight, Ames. Bro, that, like, American History X Photoshop of him with this... That's, like, my favorite fucking meme of, like, the last year. Holy shit. Too bad. No one's sleeping at night. I can just imagine, like, banging on his fucking floor, staying awake until, like, 9:47 p.m. and then falling asleep because he gets fucking tired. And he's like, oh my God.
Oh, can you also ask Benny Morris to call you by the wrong names throughout?
Yeah. Oh. One thing that I thought was interesting, obviously nobody would engage with this on a serious level, but I thought it was interesting that the thought pattern that Finkelstein exhibits, did you read the exhibits in detail? I didn't
remember them, but...
He comes up with a full-on conspiracy for like
the conspiracy, he thought,
He thinks that like the people are running a fake medical clinic and lying about their profession.
Yeah.
And then like, he has to call like CPS to protect the kid because he thinks the kid must be being, like all of this is a fantasy in his mind. Allegedly, I guess it's a fantasy in his mind. Maybe it was a fake malpractice fucking hospital, but...
You think that like extrapolates to his
yes. Yeah. The way that he approaches other issues, like Israel Palestine, 100%.
Did he ever respond when you posted about that whole neighbor thing?
It's fucking retarded. That's okay. Although, I mean, like Loderbox said, I mean, like even some of the memes persist, even with a guy who's fluent in French.
The
I don't think anybody's read Resolution 242. I don't think anybody knows what's in it.
He thought the English version said the territories, but it just says territory, And he thought French was, last territories.
That's funny. I had a guy on Twitter do that earlier too. Well, actually, Resolution 242 and what was the other one? 197?
For what? 194 for refugees, right?
194, yeah. Like, none of these refer to it. He's like, this is, UN law says, first of all, it's like General Assembly resolutions, like half of these things. And then it's like, says for the creation of a Palestinian state. It's like, no, that's not what any of these say. There's
that English or French thing, that's Ben Ami, Yossi Beilin, Benny Morris, and Khalidi, who have all made that same mistake. Like with none of the cunts use Google Translate. You know what I don't get about the B'Tselem lady? Is when I was talking to her about Cast Lead, her understanding of IHL was like...
Oh, she knew continuous combat function.
Yeah, she was like...
Bro, these people know their shit, but they don't apply any of it. What?
Yeah, she knew the websites. She knew like how they tell you the details about everyone and what they do, and like the difference.
And she uses the correct language, direct participation in hostilities.
Yeah,
like
she knows the difference between a fucking mujahid and a martyr or a shaheed, right?
Yeah.
She knows that. Like, fuck. But the same thing with the but even with as far as a factual level, as far as I know, she got everything right. But like, she still wants to say like apartheid.
When she was telling me, and she's like, yeah, when we say apartheid, we're not really trying to invoke like the legal definition or like remind you of South Africa at all, but we just want you to know it's really bad. And I'm like, okay.
I've heard an explanation for that in the past, which is the difference between using like activist language and academic language, or like trying to cut through the noise of all the online like information with that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I'm not that convinced by it.
I'm not convinced at all. I feel like the issue is that like, the frustrating part is when you talk about things like the occupation, like there are things that you could probably get like 95. I bet I could get Israelis to like. I need to talk to some far-right Israelis. I feel like I get most of them to agree. I'm like, yeah, this is probably not the best thing in the world. Like their position might be indifferent. So like, yeah, you know, sure, it's not the best thing, but fuck them. But they'd agree that it's like, I can see somebody being irritated by that. But then as soon as you start throwing in like apartheid and genocide, you're losing people in the middle, where it's like, well, is it actually? I don't know. It just seems so unnecessary.
You haven't met that many right-wing Israelis, or we haven't here.
Yeah, maybe also, but then yeah, no, you're right. I just don't even know the perception of anything. Like Netanyahu is not far right. Have you realized that?
Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah.
He's like center right.
Yeah.
He would have signed peace with Abbas, I think, if Abbas would have wanted to, if he could have kept his coalition. I think Netanyahu is just a really weak leader that's supposed to stay in power.
All of his critics have said that to me. That he would become a peacenik if they kept him in power. Yeah.
That's not the impression though in the United States. He's like the crazy warmonger, genocidal freak.
Ideologically committed.
Yeah, when in reality he's just a pussy. Well, he's enslaved by his coalition.
But the fact is, it's like we've spoken mostly to Israeli center and leftists, but the majority of the country is not that. They're right wing. Like, and the youth especially are like.
Is the Likud larger than what's the Social Democrat Party here called or whatever?
What, Labour?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What's the difference in sizes? It seems
it's big. Like Labour are dead. They've been dead for like since the 2000s.
Okay, well the Likud can't be that big if they have to like cuck out so hard to a four-party fucking.
Well, that's what Israel's like though. Even when Labour won in the 2000s, right? It was like they had to do a coalition as well. They had to bring in that like those 6 fucking Orthodox right-wing religious Jews.
How big is like the left coalition in Israel? You're saying it's not even like 30% of the Knesset?
I don't know what the percentages, but the left coalition in Israel would be what? Like you could maybe get Yair Golan, maybe a couple of Meretz guys and centrists, but again, like even the centrists, like they're not really as. The centrists are not like looking for a two-state solution. Like Lapid or fucking Bennett.
Does this country even have political differences besides Israel-Palestine?
I don't know.
Because I feel like when they talk about their positions too, it's like exclusively revolving around the PQ, Palestinian question.
I learned, like the thing about Arab communists, especially, that's like a huge thing, because Isawi Frisch, who I spoke to today, used to be a Hadash supporter, like the Israeli Communist Party, and the only reason he did was because they were the only party that was pro-Palestinian. That was it. And I think that's the case for the Arab world in general. I think the reason they supported communism was because those were their backers, the Soviet Union.
Yeah, against the PFLP, the DFLP, Israel, even Fatah, I think, kind of started as a. Did Fatah start as like a socialist thing?
Kind of, like the socialist or social democrat, but again, it was neither. It was just Soviet backed. That's what that meant.
Sure. Yeah. So none of these guys are like trying to fucking build the commune or some bullshit. No. Or they're not reading Marx in the fucking refugee camp.
The only people building communes are the fucking kibbutz people, and they're not even really communes anymore.
That B'Tselem lady.
Oh god, it's really weird to think that she understood exactly what I meant with the cast lead thing, but they still, because in their report they have 3 categories: civilian, combatant, and not applicable, and that was all the police. They were all not applicable.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think our timeline's right. I think.
Well,
I
careful.
think the Goldstone report was around the same time.
The publishing of their study might have been like after they'd done the research or something.
What were you talking to Seth's brother about, the Arabic speaker?
When?
The guy who couldn't speak English.
I was just asking random questions about like, how did you feel about the PA? Do you think that like the PA is more corrupt? I think asking if you like the PA is a boring question. Now it's like, why do you think the PA is fucked? Is it because of Israel or is it because of the Arabs? Do they think Mahmoud Abbas would sign a peace agreement if he was offered one? Oh, I asked him at the end. I was like, do you think if he signed one, then an Arab would kill him?
Yeah.
And
he said that.
He said that if it was a shitty peace deal, maybe, but if he got everything he wanted, then no.
Okay.
Which feels like a very Arab answer. But we should sit down either probably tomorrow morning and like review our days, see what we've learned, questions we have, shit like that.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we need to get more street interviews. Or
Yeah, I feel like
because we don't have enough Israeli right-wingers. And we don't have enough Palestinians. Yeah.
that's true, but this is the place to do it, Jerusalem. We don't want, because we're not going to get many probably right-wingers, crazy right-wingers in Tel Aviv, right?
Yeah, it's opinions are mixed in Jerusalem, yeah.
Wait, is there someone gonna be with us who can translate or approach?
It's fucking Jerusalem. Most of these fuckers should speak English.
Yeah, we could just put out a fucking Discord.
Change my mind.
Discord ad and be like, hey, it's one person, just come here and do it for us.
If you can get like well, those, for instance, at your fan meetup, there was like some of those IDF soldiers, but they didn't want to be on camera. But I don't know if that was just a personal thing or if that's like a military thing.
We didn't want to be on camera?
There was one IDF soldier that didn't really want to be on camera ever.
A soldier?
Well, that's what the IDF are, soldiers, right?
Wait, what, from West Bank?
No, probably fan meetup, sorry. He's switching topics.
Because I feel like some of the really good content that's not been the interviews has just been like what was happening today, just like the random conversations, or even yesterday at the meetup.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because I think that
It's more human, I feel like, because obviously the interviews you're gonna get the.
They were all just like it's a shame because people like Shannon and the other Arab guys, they just don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
And they barely want to be voice recorded.
And the conversation, like sitting around a bunch of like slightly politically interested Arab guys in that one place would be really interesting.
Yeah. You think we'll do it one evening?
I don't know. Our next few days are pretty fucking packed, and I don't know if there's anything I want to give up. Although now I'm less excited to talk to that Ahmed TV guy.
Yeah, he seems like a bit of a meme lord.
What's his?
I think Seth told me not to speak to Isawi today. Seth told me not to bring up TV because he would just get mad.
What is this guy known for? Ahmed TV?
He's like the longest serving Arab Knesset member, yeah. But it is really interesting to me that I have to go back and look up who recommended him to me, because at least one person told me like, oh, he's like the most respected, most loved. No, actually, it wasn't the most loved ever. He was the most hated by the Jews, is what people said.
Yeah.
That one guy said to me, actually.
And that fucking I was reading that article in the Jerusalem Post about Isawi, and it's so funny hearing Yosef and I be like, what have the Arab Knesset members ever done for Arabs? It's like, this guy had like a full fucking like really detailed.
Which guy?
The guy I met today.
Oh.
The guy had like full detailed like 5-year economic plans for the Arab communities, and like identifying all the areas where there were big discrepancies, like education or.
Did any of it get passed?
Yeah, they went past, but then they got frozen by this government. So it's basically some of it went through, but then it got frozen. But it was all geared towards like integrating them into like closer to Israeli society. And like closing gaps in education, or especially in tech. There's a big focus on tech, and even one of the reasons he was supporting the Abraham Accords was because economic deals with the likes of like Gulf countries like Bahrain or Emirates actually helped the situation in West Bank and Israel as well, like with water deals and shit like that, like or Georgia. So now he's got a really well thought out thing for it.
If they do like fucking 70-80% water desalination here, does the Galilee matter that much anymore? Like, do Syria and Jordan do a ton of desalination as well?
Yeah, Jordan's involved because there's been recent deals with Jordan and water with Israel.
Well, no, I'm wondering if they do, like, if they have the money to do the desalination stuff. What does Jordan make their money? Do they have oil?
Don't know.
How the fuck does Jordan make their money?
Jordan makes their money for being top memes. The eternal Hashemite kingdom.
Okay.
I love how that country is just like held together by like a family of 100 people.
And hopes and dreams. Who was it that, I feel like two different people have told us that the Palestinian state is highly threatening to Jordan.
Yeah.
Was Kadar one of them?
Oh, he would be, yeah.
I think he would be. I was trying to remember if he actually said that.
I think everyone knows that, don't they?
I guess.
Everyone feels that, yeah.
Well, nobody in the West does. I also, was it Kadar that brought it up? There are points. I'm glad I found my left answers, or I shouldn't say left, but I found good pro-Palestinian counters a lot of what he said. But I think he did bring up a couple points that are really true and really fucked. The fact that there are Palestinian refugees that like live in Jordan, but also have full Jordanian citizenship.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
It's really insane.
It was, I think I looked it up, it was like a big number too. I think it was more than half.
It's like 70% of Jordanians are Palestinians.
Yeah, but no, not just our Palestinians. Like, our Palestinians and have Jordanian citizenship, like, still have refugee status.
Oh, yeah.
And have Jordanian citizenship.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Yeah, it's stupid. Especially given that most of them don't even want to go back to wherever. Like,
Well,
at least, well, based on polling,
they don't want to go back to the West Bank, but I bet they'd want to go back to Israel.
No, they don't want to go to Israel either.
You don't think so?
No, yeah, I don't think so. No.
Oh my god. You know what the craziest cuck thing in the world would be? Is if Israel did a one-state solution, but they like color revolution or whatever, like all the surrounding refugee camps. So they did the one state, but then like none of them actually came back. So they'd still have the Jewish majority. That would be, oh man.
The only refugee group that I've seen that in any substantial number wants to go back is the Lebanese ones, and that's because their lives are the most shit, I think, right? Like, yeah.
What time should I don't know what I want our security guy for tomorrow for. Fuck. I've already paid for it though. A.m. at our hotel.
Yeah, a question I thought I had is, you know how people like Elon Levy were very like fawning over the Arab Israelis because of how well integrated they are and all that shit. Like, they rescued all these people on October 7th.
Yeah.
I wonder, I think it'd be fun to ask them, if that's the case, then if Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank were the same as Arab Israelis, would you be okay with a one-state solution then, and voting rights?
It depends on if they're powered by racism or not. I really don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what you figured out, yeah.
Yeah, but there's like the problem, like they could be racist, but there's like, I think if you're Jewish, like there's a lot of good reasons in very recent history to like not trust surrounding Arabs. And it's a little frustrating because like you can like, you have to play like all these like crazy games for like Jews, like what's racist, what's not, blah blah blah, and like Arabs will just like openly hate Jews and not give a fuck. I don't think anybody in Syria or like fucking Hezbollah or fucking Hamas is gonna care about not saying if they hate fucking Jews or not.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of this is to say that I think that if you were to ask somebody who's being honest, like not like, oh well that's not possible, they would give an answer hypothetical. If it was the case that he had a guarantee that none of those Arabs would want to like destroy the Jews in here, they probably wouldn't care. It's like, yeah, I guess
that's the point. Like, if you could show without any doubt that they were exactly the same politically as our Israelis. So in terms of like distribution and demographic,
Yeah. That should have thought of that though before. That would have been a good question for an interview for a lot of these guys.
Well, they would have spoken for 20 minutes about something completely different. Or whatever. Actually, I kind of respect Olmer for that, because he would actually go off for like 5 minutes, but then say, "Oh, well, to answer your question," and he actually would. So like, thank you so much, you Ollie fucking freak. Yeah.
Walter.
I'm also very happy that I got to tell him that he made my family more pro-Hezbollah.
Nice.
He looked very annoyed when I said that. He looked sad, actually.
Well, being mean. Probably called the. Oh no, he's former prime minister. Saying you're not gonna be able to get to the airport now.
I've also noticed that even the more politically correct, because like people like Shadon and all that, like the more progressive people in Israel, or like even they have a much higher tolerance of racism and like racist jokes and shit like that compared to the Western progressives.
I mean, it's also true that like I'm curious because you live online so much. Like I feel like the West is way more crazy on that stuff than even like Europe. But I'm sure there's like areas of Europe where people are like really sensitive. Like in Stockholm, they probably might be, I guess, in like college cities and like maybe big cities, but
yeah. But here, like people just put up with, like they're okay with a lot, even in terms, not even just in jokes, but in attitudes as well. I think it makes sense though. I thought that when I was watching that video about that Saluki guy in the West Bank, and he like befriends some Arab like olive oil salesman, and he's really like. He's kind of like the star of the show in that episode because he's just like really funny and like charming and shit. But then near the end, he starts spilling about how he thinks Jews control the world and they want to conquer everything and they run all the banks. And then so look, he's looking like really scared, and then all the chat's like, "Yikes, oh shit!" And then, but it's like at the end of the day, I feel like Palestinians being a little bit fucking anti-Semitic about Jews is not really like a. I don't think that's the real problem. It's whether or not they.
Yeah, act on it. Like you've got
peace or not, right?
People are going to be responding to their conditions.
Yeah.
Like my guess is slaves didn't really care much about racist jokes. They probably were more concerned with being fucking slaves,
Yeah.
right? Or people who lived under Jim Crow probably don't care much about microaggressions. Or
Yeah.
people thinking that black women need straight hair instead of curly hair. They probably were upset they couldn't get hired or moved a certain place, right? Yeah, it kind of goes like that. Do you feel like you have to suffer a lot of racial discrimination because of your Eastern European ethnicity?
You feel like I've had to.
No, I was talking to Lena. Whoops.
Have you say Eastern European or Middle Eastern?
Eastern European.
All right. Are you Eastern European? Hungarian. You don't give a fuck about Hungary. Hungary's racist to everyone else. Yeah, like their language is very weird. It's very like, there's no language that's really like it.
Like Finnish?
Yeah. Like what?
Like Finnish?
Yeah, I suppose so. And is Finnish nothing like Norwegian or Swedish?
Absolutely not. No. I think Norwegian, Swedes, and Danish can all kind of understand each other.
Actually, yeah, the way
The Danish potato thing.
I used to listen to a lot of Scandinavian death metal, and the Finnish bands, like the way they pronounce English words is really strange. Like much more so than Swedish or Norwegian.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna say I used to listen to a lot of Sweden for whatever reason was like the home of all like fucking prog metal for a while. But I feel like when people are singing, they either sound English or American to me, almost universally.
Yeah, in Finnish they just sound like
Weird.
Yeah, unintelligible. Or even like Bjork. Where's Bjork from?
Oh, that's got to be Iceland.
Iceland. Yeah, they're like that as well. Yeah.
That weird fucking name. It's got to be Iceland. But Iceland is Scandinavian, isn't it?
Yes. Does it count as Scandinavian? No, well, it's not in the Scandinavian Peninsula. It's fucking miles away. Iceland's like northwest of the UK.
Is it the Scandinavian? I thought it was Scandinavian, or maybe it's Nordic.
Yeah, I mean maybe Nordic.
Scandinavian is Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands.
Is Netherlands Scandinavian?
No, I think there's Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
It can't just be those three countries. There's got to be.
Well, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, right?
No, Finland is. I don't think Finland is Scandinavian. They might be Nordic though. Look it up. Just look it up. Why are we debating this?
I thought the Scandinavian peninsula included Finland.
Is Finland even part of that peninsula? Isn't it technically like?
I mean, it's that's hard to say. Yeah, fuck. I don't know.
Like, would you say like Georgia, or would you say like Alabama and Louisiana are part of the Florida
I don't
peninsula?
care about your fucking retarded country, okay? I don't know what.
Okay, well, would you say that the fucking? I mean, surprised you even call it a
the
peninsula.
Arabian Peninsula. So the Arabian Peninsula is what, like fucking Bahrain, UAE, Yemen, Saudi. Fucking. Does it include the? I don't think it includes like Iraq.
I thought they just called it the Gulf. No, they call it the Arabian
It is
Peninsula.
the Arabian Peninsula as well. Yeah.
That's strange because I gave your mom my penis. Oh yeah, why do Jews love the middle lane so much? That's a question for the ages. Do you think if I tailgate this guy, he'll move the fuck over? No, he won't. That's okay.
You know what? I actually don't know.
Oh, that's because that's the HOV lane.
When people say left and right in Israel is just your attitude towards the peace towards peace. What the fuck does centrist mean? Because I don't think centrist in Israel means you're pro-Palestinian state. But I think it also means you're not pro-South. I don't know what the because it's the old city. It's the old one, yeah. It's the very old one, yeah.
So West Jerusalem, when was West Jerusalem built?
I don't know.
Like in the 20s? It must have been there before.
It was built, I'd imagine it was built like over time, it was expanded over time.
Over, thanks, Chief.
What?
I would imagine it was built over time, as most cities are. But if there's the old city and then there's West Jerusalem, what I'm asking is like, did East Jerusalem exist like in the year 1000 BC, and then West Jerusalem was started in like the year 1920?
I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure was West Jerusalem. In the 48 War, they talk about West Jerusalem and they use it interchangeably with Jewish Jerusalem.
That might have been. Maybe that's how the city was already divided. Maybe.
Yeah, because like that was obviously the most Jew-heavy area before like Zionism was Jerusalem. I think that like depending on which fucking census data you use, like I think by the 1900s, I think some people say Jerusalem was up to 50% Jewish. Probably less, but like they would have all been in the West, or just about very few in the East.